Hi, welcome to a quick Culverdocs update. Following version 1.5 that's recently been released, I thought it'd be great to do a very quick video just to explain some of the new updates and features that have been released to the app, and that you'll also be seeing in the Culverdocs portal moving forward. So one of the bits we've always spoken about is that we love taking customer feedback and new features and requests that have come through. And we're pleased to say we've built quite a new few features, new field types, and also settings for existing fields that are now in the system that you can jump in and have a play with. So the only caveat to all of this is that you need to be on the latest version of the mobile app. So please do check that you're on version 1.5 before using any of these features. And any of the web forms, if you're a web form user, they'll already be available and ready to go. So the first areas that I'd like to talk about are things like our headings and caption fields, as well as separators. So all of our new layouts have received new styling updates. If you have a look at any of these new fields, you're going to see styling and size, where you can have standard headings or subheadings that are a little bit smaller. You can now apply colors and font colors. So that would really give you a little bit of flexibility in terms of how you're then flagging up or highlighting certain areas of that form as the users are running through. On top of that, you'll also have the same for caption fields, where we have font colors. So those are great if you wanted to highlight any particular wording, text in red, let's say. You can easily come through and select that here. Bear in mind that all of these colors will follow your brand coloring as well. So it will default to your current brand coloring within the account setup, but you can then override that if you'd like to afterwards. One of the new layout fields here are separators. So these are great for if you have particular groups of fields that you wanted to separate with a line, either a solid line, dashed line, or dotted. Again, you can apply colors, and you've got a set selection of widths here as well that you can come and select from, as well as some styling updates around how high you want to make that bar, so between 1 and 10 pixels, and also padding around that as well. So if you wanted to give it a little bit of space to allow the user to scroll and so on, all of that's available as well. So that's it for our layout and our styling updates. We've also extended some of our existing fields. So, for example, a telephone number, those have been separated out now from our short answer field. That just gives you a little bit more flexibility in terms of how those fields are set up for the mobile app. But also, in addition, we're bringing some new functionality into the web client as well. So a telephone number will allow you to do a drop down for your country code, and it also does some validation as well to make sure that your telephone numbers are correct. We'll also be enriching the features within the mobile app in later versions as well. So expect some new updates as we go around the telephone number. One of the choice fields is our checkbox. So one of the bits of feedback that we've had from a few users around a simple checkbox rather than a choice being an inline yes or no. Now we can just create a simple checkbox. That is going to give you a single field that you can just tick. And we've also got some additional properties here to define what a checked output is and also unchecked. So those are great if, let's say, you have a set of tick boxes on your word output, let's say, that you wanted to show a tick for. That will default the ticked character in here. But if, let's say, you wanted it to say yes or no, you can also come through and update these fields and provide some checked and unchecked values. Now, just like the other fields as well, we do have some default values here that we can say default to yes, and we can also set that to required. Now, bear in mind, if it's required, we're requiring a tick. So if they haven't ticked that, you can then, will then restrict them from completing the form. But there are also other ways as well using our error fields, which I'll come on to shortly. So on top of that, our next exciting field that we have are barcodes. So we have quite a number of users that need to be able to scan either products, scan any assets, let's say QR codes that they have on machines. We can now do that through our barcode field. So what that allows you to do is essentially scan and read the data from a barcode, which we can then bring into the form and use for various uses. But we've also got a new feature called list validation. What that allows you to do is define a list that we look up against. So for example, if you had a list of machines that you wanted to ensure that that barcode existed on, you can do. So we can then do a lookup to, let's say, a particular machine, and then from that you can also select a lookup field within there as to where you're looking for that barcode, and we can also error if those barcodes don't exist. So they're very dynamic QR fields that can then look up, and then we can also use any of the underlying data against that list as well. If you're familiar with the lists, you know how powerful they are and what you can do with them, and the barcodes bring even more functionality in there for your users. Moving on to the two new advanced fields that we have are our GPS location and error fields. So our GPS location is great for on-demand location. So as you know, GPS tracking can be enabled as default on the form here. So we will always track where that form is being created and submitted. Now, let's say you have a particular asset out in the field. So you needed a location maybe for a entry gate into a construction site, or you had a particular location for something that you needed to capture a very precise high accuracy location for. That's what your GPS locations are for here. So that allows the user to press the button, the device will take a snapshot of that exact location, and then we can do various things with that. A lot of people are using what3words within Culverdocs as well. So we've actually integrated what3words into that as well. So for any GPS locations, you can easily just pick up the what3words and then output that on your forms or wherever you need to see that data. So if that's of use, let us know. And then finally, errors. So historically, error fields, we haven't really, there's really been a use to restrict the user from processing a form, because at the end of the day, if you're expecting the user to enter that data, you want to be able to capture it in some ways. What the error allows you to do is to stop the user from processing for whatever use case or reason you don't want them to submit that. That could be if, let's say, they're doing a health and safety check, but actually by submitting it, they may think that they've gone through that process and the form's complete and they can carry on working. In this case, we can build an error based on visibility rules, just like you would set up in any other fields, and that will then restrict them from processing that form. So it's great if you wanted to throw an error up, stop them from processing anything. That's a great use case for that one. Now, with all of these field types, these are already available to you. So next time you log in, feel free, jump on into the field design, into the form builder, have a look at some of the fields in there. If you do have any questions at all, let us know. This was a very quick run through of what's currently in there. Wouldn't expect you to know exactly how they all work and what we can do with them. That's what we're here for. So please do just pick up the phone, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to run you through them all. But until then, that's update 1.5, and we'll keep you updated as new updates are released. Have a great day. Take care.